My mom was a working mom. She went to, see, I was born 6 weeks before a big show called I Love Lucy went on the air.
Lucille Ball, whose public persona was that of a cheerful comedian, harbored a hidden and scandalous side that belied her on-screen image. The illusion of her flawless reputation was shattered by a startling disclosure from her daughter, laying bare the shadowy aspects of her life. This revelation has left her admirers reeling in disbelief. Watch the video to uncover the gripping details revealed by Lucille Ball's daughter. Lucille Ball's daughter awakens our sympathy for her mother with a poignant story from her past. There is a truth is Lucille Ball did not hail from a particularly humorous or even happy family background. Her early years were marked by significant loss and upheaval. Ball faced the tragic death of her father when she was only 4 years old. This loss profoundly affected her, leaving a void that shaped much of her childhood and later life. Following her father's death, Ball's mother remarried, bringing further changes to the young girl's life. As a result, Ball was sent to live with her stepfather's grandparents. This new household was a stark contrast to the life she had known. As Ball recounted in an interview with the Saturday Evening Post, her new guardians adhered to old country ideas and were strict in their upbringing. This environment, characterized by rigid discipline and a lack of warmth, was not conducive to the nurturing that a young child needs. Ball observed that while her step-grandparents treated other children with kindness and affection, she did not receive the same treatment. They believed this strictness would instill discipline in her, but for Ball, it was the wrong approach. This upbringing, marked by a lack of affection and support, left Ball feeling frustrated and yearning for acceptance. She described this period as one of reaching out and trying to please, a sentiment that profoundly influenced her personality and future career. It was during these challenging times that Ball discovered the transformative power of humor. Making people laugh became her way of coping with the emotional neglect she experienced. Humor provided her with a means to connect with others, to gain their approval, and to feel valued. Fortunately, Ball's innate comedic talent did not go unnoticed. The principal of her school recognized her potential and ensured that she was cast in school musicals and plays. This early encouragement was crucial in shaping Ball's career in the performing arts. Her participation in these school productions allowed her to hone her skills and gain confidence in her abilities. It was here that Ball first experienced the joy and satisfaction of entertaining an audience. In addition to the support from her school principal, Ball's step-parents also played a role in nurturing her artistic talents. Despite their strictness at home, they recognized her passion for the arts and encouraged her to pursue this interest. This encouragement was pivotal in Ball's journey towards becoming one of the most iconic figures in television history. On July 4, 1927, Lucille Ball's life was irrevocably altered by a tragic accident that cast a long shadow over her childhood. On that fateful day, Ball's grandfather was in the backyard, teaching her brother how to use a newly acquired .22 caliber rifle. The gun was a birthday present for Ball's brother, Freddie, who was about to turn 12. Ball vividly recounted the event in her memoir, noting the care with which her grandfather had set up a tin can target for the lesson. As the family gathered in the backyard, the atmosphere was likely one of excitement and anticipation, typical of a summer's day celebration. However, this innocent scene took a horrific turn when one of Freddie's friends, while aiming at the target, inadvertently shot an 8-year-old neighbor. The bullet struck the young boy, severing his spinal cord and leaving him paralyzed for life. The incident was devastating for all involved, but the repercussions for the Ball family were particularly severe. The boy's family sued Ball's grandfather, leading to a financial and emotional catastrophe. In her memoir, Ball described how the lawsuit stripped her family of nearly everything they owned. The family lost their house, the carefully acquired furnishings that her mother, Dee, had bought on credit over time, and their insurance. The lawsuit's toll was not just financial. It also took a profound emotional toll on Ball's grandfather, who never worked again following the incident. The loss of their home and possessions marked a significant downturn in the family's fortunes and stability. Ball poignantly noted that the incident took the heart out of him, referring to her grandfather. This phrase encapsulates the deep psychological impact the accident had on him. He was a man who had provided for his family and who had taken pride in his role as a caretaker and provider. The accident and the subsequent lawsuit stripped him of his ability to fulfill these roles, leaving him a shadow of his former self. If it weren't for Lucille Ball's daughter, we wouldn't know this terrible thing, that at the beginning of her career, Lucille Ball was a poverty-stricken actress. Her journey to stardom was marked by hardship and determination, reflecting a classic tale of perseverance. When Ball first ventured to Los Angeles, California, to chase her artistic dreams, she found herself in dire straits. Far from the glitz and glamour that would later define her career, Ball's initial experiences in Hollywood were characterized by struggle and uncertainty. In an interview with famed celebrity interviewers David Fantle and Tom Johnson, Ball candidly spoke about her early days in Los Angeles. "I literally starved," she confessed, describing a period of profound poverty and hunger. At the time, Ball was young, inexperienced, and unsure of herself. Having grown up in a small town and facing the loss of her father at a young age, she was unprepared for the harsh realities of life in Hollywood. Her only experience in the entertainment industry was with vaudeville, a popular form of theatrical variety entertainment that had already declined by the time Ball arrived in Hollywood. Despite these challenges, Ball's determination to succeed never wavered. She quickly realized that vaudeville was no longer a viable path and had to find alternative ways to sustain herself. "The lack of food and work forced me into modeling," she recalled. Modeling offered a way to make ends meet, though it was far from her true passion. It was a pragmatic choice, driven by necessity rather than ambition. Nevertheless, modeling provided Ball with a foothold in the entertainment industry, allowing her to make connections and gain visibility. Ball's modeling career eventually led her to work as a showgirl, marking her first job in Hollywood. This role, while not glamorous, was a critical stepping stone. It allowed her to showcase her talents and begin building a network in the entertainment industry. Although she had initially planned to stay in Southern California for only 6 weeks, the opportunities she found there convinced her to remain. In Hollywood, Ball discovered the place where her destiny awaited. Lucille Ball broke new ground in many aspects of her career, but one of her most notable and culturally significant achievements was appearing on television while visibly pregnant. In an era when discussing pregnancy in public was considered taboo, Ball's decision to portray her real-life pregnancy on screen was nothing short of revolutionary. This groundbreaking move not only challenged societal norms, but also set a precedent for future generations of women in the entertainment industry. When Lucille Ball and her husband, Desi Arnaz, decided to incorporate her pregnancy into their hit television show, I Love Lucy, they faced significant resistance. At the time, the idea of showing a pregnant woman on television was controversial, and many believed it to be inappropriate for the medium. Despite these societal constraints, Ball and Arnaz were determined to portray this natural aspect of life authentically. They approached CBS, their network, for permission to acknowledge the pregnancy on screen, but the network executives were hesitant. They feared backlash from conservative viewers and sponsors. In a bid to navigate these concerns, Ball and Arnaz went to extraordinary lengths. They enlisted the approval of a priest, a minister, and a rabbi to sign off on each episode that referenced the pregnancy. This multi-faith endorsement was a strategic move to placate various religious and moral sensibilities of the time. It underscored the gravity of the situation and highlighted the societal barriers that Ball was breaking through. Despite the initial hurdles, the network eventually agreed, and Ball's pregnancy was written into the show, making her one of the first women ever to appear visibly pregnant on television. What's lesser known about Ball is her openness regarding a personal tragedy she experienced just before the success of I Love Lucy. Ball suffered a miscarriage, an event that profoundly affected her and Arnaz. In the aftermath of this loss, the couple decided to take their budding show to vaudeville. This decision was partly motivated by Ball's need to cope with the grief of losing their child. Performing and connecting with live audiences provided her with a therapeutic outlet and a way to channel her emotions into her work. Ball's candidness extended beyond her experiences with pregnancy and miscarriage. She was also open about her birth experiences. In an interview with the Saturday Evening Post, Ball revealed that her first child, Lucy, was born via cesarean section. She shared that her second child, Desi Jr., was also delivered by cesarean. Ball's forthrightness about her childbirth experiences was unusual for the time and contributed to breaking the silence surrounding women's health issues. "If you know your baby is going to be a cesarean baby, it helps you call your shots," she stated, emphasizing the importance of being informed and prepared for childbirth. When comparing Lucille Ball in real life and in movies, her daughter confirmed that there is a big difference. Agree that Lucille Ball left a lasting impression on audiences with her impeccable comedic timing and larger-than-life personality. However, behind the scenes, Ball was a complex individual with a personality that starkly contrasted with her on-screen persona. According to Pamela Mason Wagner, the director of the bio-documentary Finding Lucy, Ball was full of contradictions that made her life story compelling and multifaceted. In an interview with American Masters, Wagner delved into the enigmatic nature of Lucille Ball. "She's full of contradictions, which is always fodder for a good story," Wagner explained. Despite being one of the funniest actresses of her time, Ball was not naturally inclined to humor in her personal life. "She was a funny actress who couldn't tell a joke and was quite serious in real life," Wagner said. This surprising revelation paints a picture of a woman whose off-stage demeanor was more reserved and contemplative than her exuberant television character. This duality in Ball's personality extended to her professional life as well. While she became one of the most influential businesswomen in Hollywood, Ball never seemed entirely comfortable with her own power. She and her husband, Desi Arnaz, co-founded Desilu Productions, a pioneering production company that revolutionized the television industry. Desilu was responsible for creating and producing several groundbreaking shows, including I Love Lucy, The Untouchables, and Star Trek. Despite these monumental achievements, Ball's approach to her business empire was marked by a sense of unease. Wagner noted that Ball's discomfort with her power was evident in how she navigated the Hollywood landscape. She became one of the most successful businesswomen in Hollywood, yet she was never comfortable with her own power, Wagner said. This paradox highlights the tension between Ball's public success and her private insecurities. Even as she broke barriers and set new standards in the industry, she grappled with the weight of her responsibilities and the expectations placed upon her. Ball's reluctance to embrace her influence can be partly attributed to the era's gender norms and the personal challenges she faced. As a woman in a male-dominated industry, Ball had to assert herself in ways that were often met with resistance. Her journey was not without struggle. She faced numerous obstacles, both professionally and personally. Yet, despite these challenges, Ball's determination and resilience shone through. Her ability to navigate the complexities of her career while maintaining a sense of humility and seriousness speaks to her strength of character. Now it's time for Lucille Ball's daughter to shed some light on the long-standing feud between Vivian Vance and her mother. Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz were the iconic stars of I Love Lucy. But their co-stars, Vivian Vance and William Frawley, who played Ethel and Fred Mertz, respectively, were equally integral to the show's success. The dynamics between the characters on screen created memorable comedic moments, but the relationships off-screen were complex and sometimes contentious, particularly between Vance and Frawley. However, the rumored rivalry between Ball and Vance is a misconception that has been clarified by those close to the stars. Contrary to popular belief, Lucille Ball and Vivian Vance did not have an adversarial relationship. In fact, according to celebrity interviewer Tom Johnson, Ball held Vance in high regard and had a deep affection for her. She said the only person she would really watch when she ever looked at her own TV shows was Vivian Vance, Johnson shared in an interview with Fox News. This statement underscores the genuine admiration Ball had for Vance's talent. Ball recognized Vance's exceptional comedic abilities and valued her as both a co-star and a friend. In 1988, producer Mike Chapman reached out to Brian Connolly, Steve Priest, Andy Scott, and Mick Tucker with an offer to finance a recording session in Los Angeles. Chapman recalled meeting them at the airport and being startled by Connolly's appearance. As Chapman described, "I met them at the airport, and when Andy and Mick came off the plane, I asked, 'Where's Brian?' They said, 'Oh, he's coming.' By the time everyone had come off the plane, this frail, ghostly figure hobbled towards us. I thought, 'Oh, Jesus Christ.' It was horrifying." Despite recording reworked studio versions of Action and The Ballroom Blitz, it became evident that Connolly's deteriorating voice and health made it too challenging to successfully promote the reunion commercially, leading to the project's abandonment. In 1990, this lineup reunited again for the promotion of a music documentary titled Sweet's Ballroom Blitz. The UK video release, which featured performances from the 1970s and contemporary interviews, was launched at Tower Records in London. During this period, Sweet appeared on Power Hour and Super Channel, discussing the possibility of a reunion. Brian Connolly passed away on February 9, 1997, at the age of 51 due to liver failure and multiple heart attacks, which were complications related to his heavy alcohol use in the 1970s and early 1980s. Mick Tucker died from leukemia on February 14, 2002, at the age of 54. On June 4, 2020, Steve Priest also passed away, leaving Andy Scott as the sole surviving member of Sweet's original lineup. The tragic death of Brian Connolly. In January 1997, Brian Connolly suffered a heart attack and was admitted to a hospital in Slough. After a week of treatment, he chose to discharge himself, but his condition worsened, leading to his readmission the following week. Connolly passed away around midnight on February 9th to 10th, 1997, due to kidney and liver failure compounded by repeated heart attacks. He was 51 years old. On February 17, 1997, Connolly was cremated following a ceremony at Most Holy Name Roman Catholic Church on Old Mill Road, Denham, Buckinghamshire. His ashes were scattered over the water by his daughters, Nicola and Michelle. Connolly was also survived by his ex-wife Marilyn, his girlfriend Jean, and their one-year-old son Brian, born on May 26, 1995. In tribute to Connolly, fans organized a memorial concert at the Camden Palace in London on October 11, 1998, celebrating his life and contributions to music. Funds were raised to commemorate Brian Connolly with a plaque at Breakspear Crematorium on Breakspear Road, Ruislip, Middlesex. The plaque was unveiled on February 9, 2000, marking a tribute to the late musician. In 2013, Connolly's son, Brian Jr., made a notable appearance on the television talent show The X Factor. Brian Jr.'s mother, Jean, has since remarried and now resides in Spain with former band member Glenn Williams. Later years of the Sweet. Two distinct versions of Sweet continued to perform with original members. Andy Scott's Sweet, which frequently tours across Europe and occasionally ventures into other markets, including regular trips to Australia, and Steve Priest's Sweet, which focused on touring the U.S. and Canada. On April 28, 2009, Shout Factory released a comprehensive 2-disc greatest hits album titled Action, The Sweet Anthology. The album, which spans the band's career, received a 4-star rating from Rolling Stone. In October 2012, during an appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live, Axl Rose, the lead singer of Guns N' Roses, praised Sweet as one of his favorite bands growing up, alongside the British band Queen. As we reflect on the incredible journey and the challenges faced by Brian Connolly, it's clear that his legacy continues to resonate with fans around the world. From his vibrant performances with Sweet to the personal struggles that marked his later years, Connolly's story is both inspiring and poignant. We'd love to hear your thoughts on his life and career. What aspects of his journey do you find most compelling or moving? Share your comments below. If you enjoyed this exploration into the life and tragic death of Brian Connolly, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content about the iconic figures in music history. Stay tuned for more stories that dive deep into the lives and legacies of legendary artists. Lucille Ball, however, saw potential where others saw only risk. Overruling her board of directors, she ensured that the costly pilot for Star Trek was produced. Despite her support, NBC initially rejected the pilot, a setback that would have discouraged many. But Ball's determination and vision for the show did not waver. She took the extraordinary step of commissioning a second pilot, partially financing it with her own money. This unprecedented move demonstrated her unwavering belief in Roddenberry's vision and her commitment to fostering innovative content. The second pilot, unlike the first, was met with approval from NBC, leading to the launch of Star Trek. This decision proved to be a landmark moment in television history. Star Trek went on to become one of the most influential and beloved franchises in the entertainment world. Its impact on science fiction and popular culture is immeasurable, and much of its success can be attributed to Lucille Ball's faith and financial backing. Former studio executive Ed Holley and Desilu historian Coin Stephen Sanders have both underscored Ball's critical role in the show's creation. Sanders, as reported by Entertainment Weekly, surmised, "If it were not for Lucy, there would be no Star Trek today." This acknowledgement highlights Ball's pivotal contribution to the series' legacy and her influence as a powerful figure in Hollywood. Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz remain one of the most iconic couples in Hollywood history, not only for their on-screen chemistry and comedic genius, but also for breaking significant cultural barriers. Their marriage and collaboration in I Love Lucy normalized interracial marriage on television during a time when such relationships were rarely depicted in mainstream media. Ball, a Caucasian actress, and Arnaz, a Cuban-American musician and actor, forged a partnership that captivated audiences and made television history. Their romance began with a whirlwind courtship that Ball vividly recounted in an interview with the Saturday Evening Post. "I met Desi Arnaz at the RKO studio in May 1940, she reminisced. The attraction was immediate and mutual. He asked me for a date that very night, she added, illustrating the instant spark between them. Their relationship quickly escalated, leading to a marriage that same year. Ball's recollection highlights the intensity and spontaneity that characterized their early relationship. "Pretty soon we were married," she said, underscoring the rapid progression from meeting to matrimony. Marrying Arnaz was not without its challenges. Despite their deep connection, Arnaz's exuberant and often reckless behavior posed difficulties. Ball's first car ride with him left a lasting impression. "He frightened me," she admitted, describing how his fast and daring driving made her fear for her safety. Arnaz's wild nature extended beyond his driving habits, often manifesting in other aspects of his life. "Marrying Desi was the boldest thing I ever did," Ball reflected, acknowledging the risks involved in their union. The marriage between Ball and Arnaz lasted for 2 decades, a period marked by both professional triumphs and personal turmoil. Together, they created I Love Lucy, a show that redefined television comedy and became a cultural phenomenon. Their real-life marriage was mirrored in the on-screen relationship of Lucy and Ricky Ricardo, captivating audiences with its blend of humor, love, and occasional conflict. However, their marriage faced significant strains, primarily due to Arnaz's proclivity for alcohol and extramarital affairs. According to history, these issues ultimately led to the dissolution of their marriage. Despite their shared success and deep affection for each other, the personal challenges proved insurmountable. Arnaz's infidelities and struggles with alcohol created a rift that could not be healed, culminating in their divorce in 1960. Even though Desi Arnaz wasn't exactly the best husband in the world, after his marriage to Lucille Ball ended, their relationship remained remarkably cordial. Ball reflected on this in an interview with People magazine, expressing that they always maintained a friendly rapport. "Always have," she stated, underscoring the enduring nature of their connection. Their divorce was notably amicable. They didn't even involve two separate lawyers, a testament to their mutual respect and desire to part ways without unnecessary conflict. Despite the end of their marriage, Ball and Arnaz continued to see each other in social settings. Ball's comments about Arnaz's second wife being a very nice girl further indicate the absence of lingering animosity. This ability to maintain a civil and even friendly relationship post-divorce is a rarity, especially given the high-profile nature of their lives and the turbulent aspects of their marriage. Lucille Ball herself moved on to find happiness in a new relationship. In 1961, she married comedian Gary Morton, who brought a different kind of stability and contentment to her life. Ball described Morton as a naturally moderate person, someone who didn't constantly seek excitement or distraction elsewhere. "He doesn't think the grass is greener elsewhere," she told People, highlighting Morton's contentment and loyalty. Unlike Arnaz, who was often preoccupied with work and play, Morton appreciated the comfort and stability of home life. "He's not a workaholic or a playaholic, and he appreciates his home," Ball remarked, contrasting Morton's grounded nature with Arnaz's more restless spirit. Ball's reflection on Arnaz after their divorce revealed a nuanced understanding of his character. She acknowledged his generosity, noting that he built many houses but never lived in any home. This metaphor encapsulates Arnaz's tendency to create and give, but also his inability to find personal fulfillment and stability. Despite their tumultuous marriage, Ball's words conveyed a deep sense of appreciation for who Arnaz was, even if he couldn't provide the stability she eventually found with Morton. Ball and Morton's marriage lasted 28 years, until her death in 1989. This long-lasting union speaks to the compatibility and deep affection they shared. Morton's presence in Ball's life provided her with the sense of home and stability that had been elusive during her marriage to Arnaz. According to The Independent, Morton passed away 10 years after Ball, leaving behind a legacy of the enduring love and companionship they had. Maybe you don't know, according to Lucille Ball's daughter, her mother was once accused of being a communist. In the late 1940s and early 1950s, America was gripped by a pervasive fear of communism, a period known as the Red Scare. This era saw politicians and the public alike on high alert, scrutinizing anyone suspected of communist sympathies. Hollywood, as a major cultural force, was not spared from this intense scrutiny, with the entertainment industry coming under the microscope of the House Un-American Activities Committee, HUAC. The climate of fear and suspicion affected many in the industry, including Lucille Ball. Dan Kahn, the editor of I Love Lucy, provided insight into the impact of this tumultuous period on the show. In an interview with the Television Academy Foundation, Kahn recounted the atmosphere of anxiety that pervaded Hollywood. "In those early seasons of I Love Lucy, we had the terrible Red Scare," he remembered. "The fear was so intense that even a beloved figure like Lucille Ball was not immune to the scrutiny. They called Lucy a communist, Kahn revealed, highlighting how the fear of communist infiltration extended to even the most popular and successful figures in Hollywood. The allegations against Ball were a result of the widespread paranoia that characterized the Red Scare. Hollywood professionals, including actors, directors, and writers, faced intense pressure as they were often required to prove their loyalty to the United States. This scrutiny was not merely a theoretical concern. Individuals and careers were significantly affected as people were summoned to testify before HUAC and face blacklisting that could end their careers. For Lucille Ball, the allegations stemmed from a seemingly innocuous connection to the Communist Party. Kahn explained that while Ball had no genuine ties to communism, her involvement was misunderstood. Her grandpa had been a socialist, and somehow she had signed a card to the Communist Party for the old man to keep him quiet, Kahn detailed. This gesture, done out of familial loyalty rather than political conviction, was misinterpreted and became a point of contention during the Red Scare. In addition, Lucille Ball's daughter further revealed that her mother was a descendant of people accused of being witches in Salem. The Salem witch trials of the late 17th century stand as one of the most notorious episodes of mass hysteria in American history. Taking place in Salem, Massachusetts, from 1692 to 1693, these trials resulted in the execution of 19 people, 14 women and 5 men, and the death of 2 dogs who were also accused of witchcraft. The frenzy of accusations extended to a staggering number of individuals, with estimates suggesting that between 144 and 185 people were accused of practicing witchcraft. The accused ranged widely in age and status, from a 5-year-old girl to elderly octogenarians. The trials were driven by a potent mix of superstition, fear, and personal vendettas, and they left a lasting scar on American history. Interestingly, the Salem witch trials have a connection to modern times that extends beyond historical reflection. Arthur Miller, a prominent playwright best known for his plays like Death of a Salesman, drew a parallel between the witch hunts of Salem and the McCarthy-era investigations of alleged communists in the 1950s. His play, The Crucible, written in 1953, is a dramatic retelling of the Salem trials and serves as an allegory for the anti-communist hysteria of his own time. Miller's work underscores how fear and suspicion can lead to devastating consequences, mirroring the witch hunt's impact on individuals and communities. What's particularly fascinating is how these historical trials have a thread connecting them to several notable figures in American history, including Lucille Ball. According to NPR, Ball, along with other celebrated Americans such as Clara Barton, the founder of the American Red Cross, and Walt Disney, the iconic creator of Disney, is descended from individuals who were accused during the Salem witch trials. This genealogical connection brings a unique and poignant dimension to the story of the Salem trials. What do you think about Lucille Ball's daughter's rare revelations about her mother? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.